COVID-19 has really altered our lives, our routines, and our view of health and health care. Joining us to talk about some of those impacts is Dr. Sidney Coupet of Spark Health. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Trina.
Well, you've been on the front lines treating coronavirus patients. What's been your experience out there?
Wow, that's a loaded question, Trina. And it's definitely been challenging. And one of the things is it's challenging from the standpoint of my own safety, for instance. As a physician, we have to keep ourselves safe and also keep our patients safe. And so the safety of our patients and ourselves and the community is always on our minds. In addition, as you can imagine, in the past 3 months, it's been very challenging with the information as we learn about this coronavirus, specifically COVID-19. The developments themselves come at the pace that they came in, and we still had to use what we had, the knowledge that we have to protect ourselves, our patients, and our community. So it certainly has been challenging and very scary for a lot of us. But one of the things that I always kept in mind is to keep in action, and we all had to stick together and work together. So it's definitely been a challenging time.
It seems like it really has impacted the Black community and hit it really hard. Why is that, and how do you turn that around?
And that's a great question. And one of the things about our community is that we've been dealing with a lot of issues around healthcare disparities that put us at risk, whether if it's health disparities in diabetes, health disparities in heart disease, lung disease. The Black community are certainly impacted unfairly, and there's a lot of inequality in the healthcare services around accessing the quality services that they need. And so when you have a pandemic like the COVID-19, it certainly shined a light in terms of those disparities and put us at risk for those to get easily infected, and more importantly, those who are infected can be severely ill. And so our community definitely has been targeted by this pandemic, and we are struggling through it.
Tell me what's your suggestion or how you do it safely as far as parents sending their kids back to school, to summer camp. How do you do that? I mean, a lot of parents are just afraid, but at the same token, they've got to go back to work and they need something to do with their kids and for their kids to have something to do this summer.
And deciding when to go back to work, going back to school is certainly difficult. And not to mention sending your own children back to school. That certainly is a difficult decision a parent has to make. As we know, this virus doesn't spare any of us, and all of us are impacted, including children. And so one of the things we have to assure is that the schools, the facilities, do they have safety measures in place that's going to protect our children? And that's number one. And number two is developing trust within the parents, within the family, within the communities, to know that the facilities, the schools, the jobs